So please comment on Major General Rabe Abubakar's death.
It's unfortunate.
He seems to be shrouded in some sort of uncertainty.
It's unfortunate. And let me say this, and very seriously. For somebody of General Rabe's status to have died in the way he died, and the Katsina state government described his death as a lot of natural causes. And we've not seen the level of outrage you're supposed to see from the northern part of this country. Religious groups, socio-cultural groups, high-profile individuals have not made the kind of comment, the kind of outrage you're supposed to see that is supposed to trigger such that the region will now have a turnaround in the way it's assessing and coping with this situation to such an extent that it must have a shock therapy to wake the region up to now take the lead in the fight against terrorism and banditry. I've not seen that. You know why I'm saying this? Last week or 2 weeks ago, when there was the incident in Oyo, there was this murmuring in the media that it got more attention than what happened in Borno a few weeks back. I said, no. The people of Oyo decided to speak out. And they held their own son accountable, who's president, accountable enough to say, look, these are our children and our wives and our husbands for us. And so it became a serious matter of national importance. Now, in the case of General Rabe, everywhere seems to be muted. But Kofi, these people that are keeping quiet now, the day that another group decides to speak out against the atrocities of these terrorist groups, they will come out gun blazing, tell you that to shut up, that they've suffered more casualty figures than you. Are you seeing the irony? So it begs the question, is the region itself and its leadership comfortable with what these people are doing? Because the region is exporting terrorists and bandits across the country. Fulani bandits and jihadi terrorists are all emanating from northern Nigeria. Yet the region is quiet. In some instances, the governments of the region are offering amnesty, offering dialogue, offering handshake, offering all sorts of offerings to these people. So we begin to wonder, are you sure we're not pouring water in the basket? Because if the region itself, that is supposed to be at the forefront of leading the combating of this menace, appears to be complacent. Because what this tells you that Gumi, you may hate me for all you can, but it's supposed to be speaking for the region. It's supposed to be speaking the mind of the elite of the region. And that is an important thing we need to note now. And probably begin to have a dialogue on how to move forward as a country. I think at this time, we need some sitting down as a country to say, okay, what are our priorities as per regions and other groups? And let us know how to move forward either as one or otherwise. Because something is really, really wrong with the situation going on in the northern part of this country. The Katsina state government in particular, the Katsina state government, led by Governor Diko Rada, has become very notorious for developing an incestuous relationship with bandits under the guise of negotiations and offering of amnesty. And so, for instance, the government is well aware of what happens to the bandit camp because they are working hand in gloves under the guise of bringing them to the table for them to renounce banditry. Even when the former governor of Katsina, Bello Masari, has warned that he tried it didn't work. Everyone has told us that I tried this, it didn't work. Every other governor that has tried this has realized that it does not work. Yet, the Katsina state government is stiff-necked in this matter and is still lying in bed with bandits. And that's why they can give us reasons of health complications as to why the general lost his life without saying and admitting that he died because of his captivity by bandits. As though he was just lying down somewhere and he failed to take his drugs and then he died. Without alluding to the fact that even though the fact that he was abducted and he was in captivity, all of these that they are listed, even if it is true, what happened to him. They seem to have not simply exonerated the bandits and simply focused on the man's failing health. That is the worry I'm having. Because the federal government can make all the effort it wants to make. If the local leaders in the north are refusing to take up this matter, then we have a problem. Look at the reaction, for instance, the last time that almost all this country apart. When the group of people who identify as Christians in Nigeria felt, we can't take these killings anymore, and we feel that we are being killed because of our faith. They cried out, and the word came to extend a helping hand to them. We started hearing voices speaking out against other people that are speaking out against their own trauma, their own crisis. Now, you are refusing to speak out about your own. I mean, it is insensitive for me.
I was going to ask you, sir, because we can't hear you. I was going to ask you, I mean, is a lack of condemnation, of these criminals or these acts of criminality by the Northern Elders Forum, and the other Northern groups, is it stopping the government from doing the needful?
It is, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
When you call a meeting of people concerned in a region about insecurity, and they tell you to dialogue with the bandits, they tell you that no, they are our brothers, that you need to negotiate with them, that they are doing this because they lost their cattle, they don't have access to school, and all sorts of things. What will you do as commander in chief?
But
security is local as well.
But you are commander in chief. I don't know where a community has ever dictated what the president or
we are a democracy, sir.
General will do.
We are a democracy. We're a democracy. If the people of the region are telling you that what they want is not combat, and they've said it severally, you've heard Gumi saying it with applause, with support, that what you need is to dialogue with them. The government, even if it's going to take action, will be trying to pander to this matter. So I'm saying, look, the North should decide what it wants, and then tell the government what it wants. Enough is enough. Otherwise, let's have a sitting down. Those who want to endure terrorism and banditry, let's have a new arrangement that shields the rest of Nigeria from that. Honestly.
Okay.
Because look, you cannot continue to pamper bandits in your own region and export them to the rest of the country and see that nothing happening.
So
okay, now a general, somebody at the rank of a general, died in captivity. I say it is a mob all over the region. Mob, nobody speaking.
What are your thoughts on what the president is saying about this? He hasn't spoken directly, but Bayo Onanuga, President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, issued out a statement on behalf of the president, saying the terrorists have done their worst. He says, while the terrorists have done their worst, the president wants them to know that the government will never bow to their demand to release their members.
This is because where they were abducted is in Oyo. And the Oyo State people, the Yoruba people of the Southwest, are not telling government to negotiate with the bandits. They are telling government to take all the decisive action to bring back the people and neutralize the bandits and the terrorists. You see the difference? But if, for instance, the people of Southwest today start telling the president, put pressure on him, to go and negotiate and release the people that this people want released, the president will have no choice but to do it.
He was commenting on Katsina, the general's death, where he said the terrorists have done their worst.
What I'm saying is, he's trying to link the death of the terrorists to the demand by the people in Oyo, the other terrorists in Oyo that are holding people captive. But I'm saying,
okay,
if the Yoruba people and their leaders and the governors decide to put pressure on the president today to negotiate with the terrorists, he may have to cave in. So these are factors. And I give you the example of the Southeast. You saw how their leaders stood up eventually to bring mercy to that region. You saw it. You saw how a governor like Soludo was forcing people to go to their shops on Mondays and exacting fines and leading the charge. The reason is he wants to defeat that psychological dependency on separatism in the region that people took advantage of to wage that insurgency within the region that destroyed the region. This is what leaders should do. In the North, it is not the same.